Welcome everybody to episode number 200 of Pro NoCoders Office Hours. We made it, y'all. 200. I am your host, Tanya. We're here with several members and also my co-founders, Eli and Pablo, and our team members, Juan and Cameron. And we're going to get started in just a moment, but if this is your first time tuning in, what a time to tune in. We have done this now 200 times, and what it is we invite our Office Hours members onto our Zoom. They can ask us any bubble question that they want, and we do our best to get it answered. Of course, we can't promise any answers because nobody has all of the answers, but we do promise you won't suffer with your problem alone. And that we live up to, no, 100%. So let's go ahead and get started with any questions or comments or topics from our members. I think Callum brought one even already for today.
I can't remember what that question was, but do I not rate as one of the co-founders of Office Hours, given that the original Office Hours was me and you?
But we didn't even call it Office Hours back then. It was like February 15th. February 15th of last year, I just popped in the Facebook group and I said, anybody want to do some bubbling on Zoom? And 2 seconds later, Callum popped up on my Zoom. And that was it, and has been going ever since. So
never look back. Do you remember what it was
cool.
that I asked? Do you remember what it was that I asked last session? Because I can't. I remember saying, "Oh, can we cover this?" But I can't. And you said, Eli. Oh, it was the JavaScript thing, wasn't it? Was it?
Yeah, something to do with JavaScript.
Okay. Anyway, what we were doing on the last one, I've stopped doing now because it just slowed the app down ridiculously. So people can only post pictures or videos, not both, because I gave up trying to do that.
Got it.
But I don't have anything specific for today's call.
No worries. Anybody else have any questions for today?
No, I'm just here for the party.
You're just here for the party? Welcome, Kelly. It's not home.
Hi. Oh my God. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Sorry, I can't hear you. So 1 second.
No worries. Let's see.
Okay.
No questions. So we can just talk. We can just hang out.
Talking's good.
Talking is good.
It's fun.
It might keep Ben awake since he's been up all night.
I know, right?
I have a question. Interesting. How to know when someone is online and actively using your app/website? Obviously, you know when they're logged in, but if you wanted to have a status of someone is the only thing I could think was on every single workflow have something that updates something in the database to say, yeah, they're online. So every time they click, but I'm certain there's an easier way than adding a million different things to my workflows.
First idea that comes to mind is putting that in your header. So every single time that the page is loaded, it's able to check that conditional versus, having more than just having many interactions. So if user is logged in, then it displays a certain icon or something to that effect. So it gives you some visual cue. It's probably the approach that I would take.
I like the idea, but my app is a single page app. And the idea is actually we don't want to have to reload the page at all. We're trying to make everything on the page dynamic. So we can't use the when page is loaded because, it might be loaded and then you go out of the app and then come back to it. And as long as you haven't actually closed the app down, the page will still be there and it would, So I'm just trying to work out. I spoke to GoApp and there was no way to do, when the app is open on the page. So I was wondering if there's something on the bubble side to work out when a user is actually doing something, whether it's my app or any app, where there's a way of knowing whether the user is actually using it at the time.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to do it the easy way or the difficult way? And how often?
Always. Has anyone ever said the difficult way?
Do it the difficult way, Eli?
Yeah, you know what? I love making my life hard. Hit me.
How often do you want to know? How exact do you need to be? Do you need it within 5 minutes or
online within the last 5 minutes would be fine.
Gotcha. I would just run a do every 600 seconds workflow and just like update the current user and just say if is current user logged in. So if the current user is logged in, then just update a field on the user to the current date time. So and then when you're looking at users, you can just check. So you could search users where last active is within the last 5 minutes, and use that condition to show your little green dot or whatever you want. Does that make sense?
So whatever the length of time is, do every X amount of time and update something in the database to that time to say that was the last time they're active. I'm guessing you're saying that workflow would only run if the page was actually open in front of them, because it won't run in the background.
Right.
Right. So that's good. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I can log in and set something up to show how to do that if we need to, but that's the easiest way. It's not, instantaneous like a Facebook or something where they're just using JavaScript to see if you're moving your mouse, right? And keeping you up to date that way. But
no, I mean, I like yours because actually moving the mouse. Drop that one.
The other way is so complex, like Facebook.
I mean, not terribly complex. If you wanted to build out a custom plugin that just watches for user motion on the, something the user's clicking or user's mouse is moving or something. Oh, true. Segment could be an option for that.
What is segment?
Segment is it's a data warehouse essentially, and Bubble actually has a native integration with them, but you can send events directly to Segment. I think you would still have to save it to the database in some way or the other, if you wanted to show that natively in Bubble.
Well, I think your way works. You can, your way can work the same way Facebook does. If you just have to run the workflow every second, which would just kill your capacity, but it can be done, right? So as long as you set it to something reasonable, like every 2 minutes, which most people aren't going to mind, if you're online within the last 2 minutes, that should be fine, right? Yeah.
I guess my question here is like, didn't they change the current user is logged in to current user is signed up, or they wanted to like change that? And if that's the case, because they want to reflect that the user has signed up, then it doesn't matter if the user is using the app, right?
No, the current user is logged in or is logged out. If you're looking at, like, if as a current user, if I'm looking at another user, I think there's has an account now, right? So you can see whether that user has an account. It's a little confusing the way they've got it set up, but you still have the is logged in, is logged out on the current user.
What do you mean has an account? How could a user be? How can you see a user but them not have an account? Surely to be a user, you have.
Yeah, that's where the confusion is. I had it worked out where it would.
I think they might have added that because Bubble stores your cookies for like 3 days. So like it's gonna associate you to like a fake user, although you haven't created an account until you create it. So if you start like filling a questionnaire, for example, and you save the data to the current user, even if you're not signed up, if you sign up like 1 hour later, it's gonna have that data in your user. You know what I mean? Like it creates like this temporary user, even though you don't actually have an account yet. Right. So if you, so for example, if you set a condition in the page that the user can only see the page 3 times and you start increasing a counter, it's gonna know that you've already seen it 3 times, even if you don't have an account, because it knows that you've come back, unless you wait for more than 3 days.
And that's because of the bubble cookie policy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 3 days. Maybe it's about a week. I think it was 3 days.
Now I want to know,
Perfect. Let's
you
see.
search for a user and it gives you, you search for a user, it gives you it gives you has an account or doesn't have an account. I'm really curious about that. Because I'm not sure how you would, unless you can look for users who aren't logged in, like you were saying there, Pablo. So you could maybe look for users that didn't sign up, but maybe they clicked a specific button on your homepage or something. So if they click that button, you save it, and then you can actually, as an admin, search for those users.
Makes sense.
We should figure that out.
Here we go. We're back to normal, I think.
Oh, that was an experience.
Whoa!
What a one for number 200.
I thought I was being nice, letting people join, but apparently not.
Oh. I'm surprised at how bad these people.
I know, right? Like that was.
It's like,
God.
I mean, you need to. It's like a need to do bad things to be able to be up. I don't know, to live or something like that. It's incredible.
Kelly, this happens in every office hours session, okay?
No, this does not happen in
no.
every office hour.
It's a party every single session.
We just pretend
This
it
is
doesn't
why
happen.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're
That's why I came.
Well, the good news is we're not live streaming, so this will be
Oh, we know.
edited out.
That's great.
No problem.
Yeah,
Bye,
but you're
boys.
thinking on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share my screen, Tanya.
Good idea.
No drawing penises though.
Stop it, Eli.
They've obviously drawn that before because they were very good at it.
It was very fast.
Some person is waiting to get in named Eli Beachy. Is that
I don't know.
What is that?
you?
But what
Like,
if it's the real Eli trying to get in
I
and this is
know,
a fake
well, the-
Eli?
Well, the
That's
real
hilarious.
Eli Beachy, please stand up.
Hey, Tanya, can you send me to a private room with them so I can just like troll them?
Yes, let's do it.
Of a drawing competition.
No, we would miss you too much here. So
Oh, come on, it'll be fun. I'll screen record it for you.
that's okay. Well,
I'm gonna see if we can search users who've been doing things on the page. Let's see.
Is this for the circle, Callum?
Yes, yeah. So at the moment, when you message people, there's the online offline isn't actually connected to anything, so everyone just shows us. Actually, it is connected. So it's connected to whether you're verified or not. But I obviously want it to actually be online or offline. Eli, you still haven't signed up.
You do it to if the fold is loaded, or if it's above the fold in this case. So like be able to store whether it's a yes or a no, and if it's a yes in this case, it shows up there online. But all right, then I'm thinking, I guess, how would you show that it's no longer folded or above the fold? I mean,
yeah, and also some of my pages are floating groups and things like that. It's really just when the app's open. So I think I'm thinking I'd do the workflow do every minute or something, just make a change to time in the database. And that way I can do last seen. So if time is greater than 1 minute previous, then last seen was that. And then if it's within the last 60 seconds, then it will be online.
sure, okay, yeah.
I don't know if that will kill the capacity though. I mean, I guess it would kill it if there were a lot of people online, wouldn't it? But so
Yeah,
workflows
depends on
like
how
that don't
immediate.
run. Yeah. Workflows like that don't run though, do they? If you're not on the page. Sorry.
You can have backend workflows run if you're not on the page for sure. But how immediate do you want it? Because you could set it to where it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And I don't know.
I mean, 1 or 2 minutes is probably fine. But yeah, have you signed up by the camera?
No, I haven't yet. I'll do, you know what? I feel so bad for that. I'll do it right now because I still have that link in my messenger.
Oh, awesome, cool. No, I was just wondering. I've been getting, so I set up a push notification thing so that I get a push notification every time someone's signed. So, someone from my work just signed up. Lisa Shepherd just signed up. Lovely. Yeah. Also, it's weird. So I've noticed with the push note, you know what I was saying to you earlier, talking about push notifications, where when you tap on it, I've got the issue with it reloads the page every time. The notification I've got set up that lets me know every time I've got a new user, it doesn't have any deep link on it. And when I click it, all it does is open the page, but it doesn't reload it every time. But for some reason, the ones that have the message ones that have the deep link in them to go to the message page, it reloads the page every time you click on one, even if the app's already open. I'm not sure why it does that. Any thoughts?
This is the push notification native to the operating system?
Yeah, so when I get the notification to say, oh, you've got a new user, if I tap it and the app's already open, the app just pops up. It doesn't reload the page or anything like that. But when I send a message to someone or someone sends a message to me and I get the push notification for the message, I've got a deep link in there. So when you click it, it should take you to the conversation, which it does. But the problem is it reloads the page and then takes you to the conversation every time you do it. So it doesn't offer, and the page loads like 3 seconds. It doesn't offer a very seamless experience, clicking on it, waiting 3 seconds and then seeing your messages. I'm wondering why it's reloading the page to get to where it needs to when the one that doesn't have a deep link just pops the app open.
Oh, that is really weird.
I mean, I don't know.
Is this something, and you use the BDK wrapper to do that?
That's the thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting into the realms of, I don't know whether it's a bubble thing or if it's does bubble always reload a page when you click a deep link to something, even if that page is already open? Or is it a push notification thing? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. Honestly, I'm led to believe that it's the BDK, especially if it's like a push notification from the phone, where it could be communicating with the application in a way that's different to what we're able to access.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you get to that stuff, I've got no idea how to change it. I mean, I was thinking about, I don't know whether not, because I'm trying to work out whether it's better user experience having them wait for a while to see their messages pop up, or if I actually just remove the deep link and then it's better for it to pop up instantly, but then have to click in the messenger and see the messages.
I'm currently signing up for the app. I'm almost done.
Yeah, I've been chatting to Callum on his own app. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I need to test it yet.
Whoa, United States of America is not first? Selecting my country.
Not.
Whoa, that's weird.
I know Americans like to think the United States of America should always be first.
Exactly.
There are other countries.
There's something else besides.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, what?
Besides North America and South America, yeah, there's other places.
Oh, yeah, Americans and their egos.
No,
We're
really.
Born with them, man.
No, stop, Eli.
Oh man,
I love it.
It's not like the rest of the world talk about that or anything.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I got to get a new background for my office because every time I'm on calls, everyone else has like pictures and stuff on their walls.
should
that's what
screenshot
virtual
that
background.
drawing that they just did on Zoom and just put it up behind you.
Because he's the biggest swinging dick in the playground.
Oh, should we build something, Tanya? Or are we just gonna talk?
Are there other questions?
Let's do something. Yeah, let's either answer questions or build something. What do we need to build for Pro NoCoders? We could build it live.
But we do have the questions from Kelly though, right? Or not?
We do have some questions from Kelly that we can't answer. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Unless
happy
you
to
wanna
talk
have it-
about this.
Welcome,
I-
Kelly.
Thanks. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So happy
hi.
to be here. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do that now or after with Cameron or whatever, but it's a client project, so I'm a little nervous to show all their auth tokens.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
better-
absolutely.
I mean-
we're not recording.
Yeah, we don't need to do that. You don't need to share your screen yet. At least we can
Yeah.
definitely reserve that for later. But at least in terms of the concepts, we can go over that and see how we
Yeah.
can implement it.
Algolia is this sort of one that I'm like, I don't know what the hell's happening or what I'm supposed to be.
Sure.
And that one doesn't have any auth tokens, I don't think. So I can share screen on that. Let me
Well, it
just
does
look at
have the API keys and stuff that you probably is still sensitive and don't
Yeah.
want to share.
Yeah.
We need to finish adding that to our extension so we can hide those in screen share.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the big question for me is like, you have to connect your data, right, to Algolia. And either, I don't know if it's syncing all the time, or if it's like you, or upload, I just don't know how it works. And I'm supposed to create some kind of index to sort of point to the data type that I want to be able to search.
Yeah.
And
uh-huh.
yeah, and it's, there's options or like upload a file. Well, that's not gonna add manually. I'm not gonna do that. So I have to use the API, I guess, but like, I don't know what
Sure,
any
so,
of this means.
Is there a particular reason you don't want to upload a file? Because I think that's probably going to be one of the easier ways to approach this situation.
Well, so the search, I mean, because the data is always changing, right? Like this is,
Yeah,
I'm
uh-huh.
searching users in the app. So that, I mean, it's not
Definitely.
a static set of data.
Gotcha. It's gonna be dynamic, and we're gonna be updating it. At least to get the index, or like in this case, the database sort of set up. What we could do is take those records that you currently have in your Bubble application, export them, and then put them in to the index. And so it just gives us like a starting basis, so we can test the functionality. But then moving forward, since it is dynamic, we would need to create a workflow. So when something is created, that then it is also added to the index and is able to be searched.
So you're adding each item individually to that set of data that's in Algolia, or if it changes, you're not resyncing the whole set every.
That's correct. You're not resyncing the set.
Okay.
And
Got
so there's two different ways. So you were saying that your client's not on the professional setting. The professional setting just makes it so easy, and everything is automated for the most part with Bubble. So maybe try and steer them that way. But if not, with the plugin, it's honestly just it's just as simple. Maybe a little more you have to do, but it's still, at least conceptually, is pretty simple. Where when anything's adjusted, what you'll do is you'll go into your workflow, and then you'll it's set in the plugins setting. So when, let's say, like a button's clicked, right, the first step would be to either add an object or update an object.
Eat shit.
Right.
And I can share the screen actually at this very moment, if that helps us out.
You talking the zero code plugin?
That's correct.
Eat
Yeah.
shit, please.
Yeah.
Please eat shit.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my. Okay, perfect. So this is
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Doesn't Bubble have a native integration with Algolia? Like, what's
the
benefit with zero codes versus
zero
versus
codes?
native?
It's like a hobby plan or anything, whereas the integration's on a professional plan, so you have to pay a little bit more money up front on the
Gotcha.
Bubble end. I would recommend that entirely. It's just so simple and so easy to get it set up. And you can see I've set up two here. One that takes into consideration the professional integration, and then the plugin that we have. And then I also down here, I wanted to showcase what it is or how we would add an object. But so to get started, I took the information that we have inside the items that we have in our testing. So we have a bunch of 1s, 2s, and 3s. And in this index, you can see a bunch of 1s, 2s, and 3s. And so when we search for them, we're going to go ahead and get multiple instances or multiple, I'm trying to, the bar keeps popping up. There we go. So if we type in 1, they'll all pop up. And if we type in 2 or anything, this is interesting.
So fast.
Yeah, it is awesome. I love it. And so when we press enter, it actually queries the search. That's why sometimes there's 2 and 3 showing up. It looks like it takes a little bit of time. But if we actually then press enter, it goes pretty quick. But same thing for over here as well. So 732 contains the word 2, so it shows up and so on and so forth. And so then what I want to just do before I actually go into depth and show you how to do it, we'll just add a random number, say, just do that. And I didn't change, let's see. Must be a string. Okay, let's do 4,000. Wait a second. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so I had an empty piece of information that I was sending to the index, so it wasn't actually registering that. Hopefully this time it works. So there we go, cool, just sent there. So now if we type in 4,000, it is here. And so we can type in even these numbers as well. So for instance, 73 is not showing up, but if we send it there and then type it in, so it does it really quickly. And this is how you're going to basically add or remove or update or anything of the sort. You'll have a field or a button rather that you click and it then takes that data and does what you need to with it. But to go inside of this, I'll show you exactly what we're doing. So this is the plugin. You're going to need to drag the visual element, the Algolia simple search. And it's a couple emojis. It doesn't show up on this page, so it's just here for the visual cue. And what we're going to want to do, and it depends on, I guess, how you want to proceed. If you wanted to set up the index first, or if you wanted to set up just the actual information. But what we will do is we'll take the index name. This index was a pretty weird name. And it shows up right here under this index. So you'll be able to create an index and then pick a name for it. And I would recommend keeping it simple. You definitely don't need to have periods and so many underscores and have it this long.
How do you think about naming? Is it like the thing you're searching or the thing like?
Yeah,
it's
sure.
not the name of your app.
So we could do dev_users, and that would then that would just be a name, so we know to ourselves when we're in our bubble app that if we're going to be searching for users, we'll search under that index where it has users.
And that's devs, right? So like, yeah, that was my other sort of question was like, if I'm indexing my dev data, that's obviously not my live data. So then I have to recreate the whole thing and point to different data.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you're gonna do it. Unfortunately, it makes it really simple. We only have to change a handful of things for that to actually take effect from production or from testing to production. But so after we do the index name, we're just going to go ahead and add our query. So where are we searching this information from? And this is our input value. This is going to be input value B here. And so it just says, okay, we're going to take this value and we're going to send it, and it's going to turn up in this repeating group. The type of content is, as you would have guessed it, the Algolia result. So down here, we're given all these options. We're going to want to select this just because, of course, it's relevant. We're searching for or through this plugin. And this is where you're going to want to definitely make sure that you put in the parameters that you want to search. So I know that there were two. There was both the name and then the business or the company. And so what we do, if I did have a company field, it would, trying to type, there we go. It would be separated by a comma and no more complex than that. And so I'll definitely show you when we actually create this in here, but just in terms of like searching currently. I have been told through the documentation that you don't really want to change the hits per page here. You're going to want to do this all on the dashboard on this website, but not through Bubble. Apparently it breaks it or something, and that's not good. So we want to stay away from breaking. But then last but not least, all we do is we add our repeating group. We set the type of content to a text or whatever we're searching for. In this case, it would be a text. The data source then is the visual element that we placed. And then the result would be field 1. And I believe that the field 1 and field 2, let's see, we have a huge bunch of fields. I believe they should all search together through this here.
And those are the fields I've said that I want to search. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I hope I'm not. Let's see. I wonder if we could do like a plus item and then do that doesn't want to.
I think it would be the plus the list, right? You need to have a list of texts, probably. Isn't that a list? So you're gonna want to merge it with another list, or?
That sounds like it would work. Let's do that. Perfect. Yes. Okay, cool. Now, in theory, this should take both of the fields that we have, which would be the name, text, and the company, and it would output them in this repeating group. We would show the text by just putting a text in the cell and then saying current cells text.
What if I want to display things that I'm not searching? Like, for example, so this is gonna the result is a list of people in the system, but also I want to have like their LinkedIn, like an icon where you can click to go see their LinkedIn. So I would need their LinkedIn URL that also returns, but I'm not searching their LinkedIn URL. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. So we need to tie the cell to the user. How would we do that?
Okay.
It's a good question, because what this is doing is it's taken back the query that we're putting in through this.
Yeah.
So this value, we're showing the text or the company. We can try, so let's do like an icon right here for now. I'm trying to think how we would approach this, because we definitely want to tie it in. So
Right, and then when they click on the cell, it needs to go to a page and send that user ID to the page, or send the user to the page. So
that's true. Okay, so what would be the best way to do this? Well, so the icon's going to have the link, or in this case, there's going to be a link element. What I'm thinking here is if this cell, well, in your index, you're going to want to send more than likely that link information. So their LinkedIn URL. So if it pops up with that query, you'll be able then also to take the information that's popping up with that. So if we're typing in let's say Tom, Tom is linked to Microsoft. So if we're typing in Tom, Microsoft should pop up as well, which would then, like, just for example, if Microsoft was a link, they would also include that link, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think about it in my brain here. It should all be tied together, but I could be not super certain, because right here, we're just taking the current cell's text.
Right.
Or are we taking the cell's information? Any input from the experts on this? Thinking about it?
I don't know. I've never used Algolia. I think for use case like this, I would just use the Bubble native search, setting up an index on the user. Yeah, especially also for privacy. I think it would be easier to handle that. If we were looking for something that we were searching, I don't know, public data, then Algolia would probably be a really good solution. But if we're displaying users' data, I don't know how privacy and filters are set up in Algolia, but I think it's not the easiest.
How many records are you trying to get through? That'd be the big pinch.
Yeah, I mean, right now they have like, I want to say like 300 users, but eventually, they want to be, they want to be huge. So
I want to be the next Facebook.
What about just
they want to be the next
fast
LinkedIn.
fuzzy search for the time being? Would that not work?
Sorry, what was that?
Just a fast fuzzy search for the time being, which will make it super quick, but you can just keep everything in-house.
Can you pass the unique ID through, Cameron? I think I would send a unique ID, and then when that search comes back, just populate the repeating group with users. That would use Bubble's native privacy rules, right? Because it wouldn't bring back any users when you search, but you wouldn't have to do you could do the search for unique IDs, which would be fast, and then Bubble could load that data really quickly.
Yeah, it's a super good idea. Yeah.
Sure. So
Also, I need to return the image too. I forgot about that, like their profile image. So.
If you had a repeating group, then that was just users, all that would be available.
I mean, that's the way I have it set up right now. I have just native search. And so it returns, but it's not talking of Algolia, of course.
Yeah. Algolia is cool. I would definitely want to use it. And if the client wants to try it out, then I would definitely say yes. But I think it might be a bit more complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, it's freaking me out. Not gonna lie.
So we're only given current sales text, and I wish we were given more options like current sales first name or brand or
What's coming back from Algolia? I wasn't seeing what was actually being sent back.
Yeah, so at this very moment, we're just sending in the text, the name text, and that's what's being sent back. It's just the text. That's probably why we're only given the text. Although I would assume that it would say name _ text instead of just current sales text.
Can we try sending an ID across just to see if we can access it when it comes back?
Yeah, so we'll try that out. How would we do that? Yeah, this is one of the first times that I'm going to be working with this as well. Just a forewarning here. So what we've done is we've added, let's see. Is there a unique ID appended? No, there's not.
You really have to do JSON for this? That's crazy.
Yeah, the way that this plugin is laid out, yeah.
Oh my God. It's no code, y'all.
So we'd have to store it as a record. We'd have to create a record beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll just say name equals input C's value. So in theory,
do a format as JSON safe on that just to, or put, you go.
Oh, do that right there. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to want to do before we actually mess with that, let's see if this just works and it automatically adds the unique ID.
So that object ID that you see there, that's just an Algolia object ID. It's not a Bubble ID. Hey.
Yeah, so the object ID is the Algolia, and then the unique ID is,
Got it.
yeah,
The
the unique
user
ID.
or whatever.
So in theory, since we have that set up, right? We actually have companies set up, but we don't need that right now. So we were to be searching for the unique ID. It doesn't want to pop up. Make sure I spelled that.
Is that
right.
because it's returning the text?
Honestly, it's probably because we have these fields merged. I'm wondering if that's the reason. No. It's not showing anything. Okay. This is restriction for the field 1. Huh, I wonder, so we'll do this for now and we'll see if this does anything. Not even there, huh, okay. So if we do search for something though, it does pop up. But not the unique ID. And so why does the unique ID not show up? We're searching for.
Well, you don't need to search the unique ID. You just need to have access to it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But if we're not able to find it in search, I have a feeling that we won't be given access to it. So it's a field, we're searching for field 1. Search for field 2. Not that this is going to get us any closer, but it might at least let us see the unique ID. No, we're cursed. Okay. Let's pull
It's
open.
at least comforting that things are hard for experts.
You won't suffer alone here.
No,
I
good.
knew you were going to say that. Alan, were you just waiting for that?
It's been my tag.
Tanya says that in her sleep.
Don't suffer.
She's like laying there, I won't suffer alone.
Okay, so this is the simple search documentation. Configuring this display for your index. Let's see. Bubble setup and usage. We like this. Okay, so it's retrieving these fields. I wonder if it's because we're doing simple search and it's just showing one field at a time.
Can you search like the simple number and actually try to show the unique ID in the repeating group?
So the issue that I was running into is that, let's say we take this text and we want to show the unique ID here. We're only given the current cell's text. I guess we could do a search for.
Well, that's because the repeating group is set up to a text type, right?
Oh, sure. What do we want to set it up as the Algolia search?
I would do it as a Algolia search. Yep.
And it wants us to switch it back. We can't do this one. This is the professional plan, so we'd be stuck with this.
You should be able to just X out there, I think. And now you should have access to like text and.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely. This seems like the solution. Let's pray.
Using the Brave browser as well, Cameron.
That's right, yeah.
You getting crypto for that?
Yeah, I am. Exactly.
Oh,
Using
nice.
the basic attention token.
Nice.
So now it's loading forever. That's Not the best news. I will say, let's look. So it does want us to do text. So we have the query for updating and such. We don't really need that. Huh, okay. Well,
Yeah, I mean, if we gotta do text, you could always do it to text and then just make the source field 2 instead of field 1. And that should show the current cell's text should show your unique ID then.
Which one did I search here? Result. We had just done that, but I don't think that it showed that. I wonder if it's actually because of the way this, like, this is number 4 instead of field 2 or something.
Oh, possible.
It's like when you type in 72, that was one of the numbers, right? I believe 73. So we type in 73, like it does show up with that particular cell. But it's not showing the actual field. Let's go to field 4. Go back here. Let's see what this is saying about the fields. List of results overlapping the first required field. We'll set all in one place. We can find it all in one place, it's saying.
So quick question while you're doing this. If I
Yeah.
use the native, like if they upgraded their bubble account and I was able to use the native thing, I would not need to mess with any of this, what you're doing right now? Or would it still be?
That is a good question. Let's go ahead and see. So let's say, for instance, we want this person's image, which again is going to be one of those items that's added to the index. Where's the image? It's right up here. Actually, we don't need an image. We can literally just use this icon. We'll just use another text. So at this point, yeah, well, it does look like the cell is giving us information. So this particular cell does contain both the name, which would be the numbers, and then anything else that we'd added to it. So for order here, this is not going to actually show up if I was to show you because it's not added as an index here, right? Added as an object in the index. But yes, to answer your question, if they were to upgrade, you wouldn't have to mess with any of this. It would just be super duper simple. You'd be able to pull up all the information that's relevant to that record.
That would be great.
Yeah, and it updates automatically. That's honestly the solution that I would pick just because it is so simple. You can explain to them, of course, if they're planning on being huge, the money up front is definitely going to help them with any ongoing development costs in the future and anything like that.
Yeah, okay.
But damn, I want to figure this out though. It is possible. It is possible for sure, but just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. It's got to be possible, but I have worked with the native integration, Kelly, on a couple apps previously, and it was very simple. So it's expensive, but
Yeah.
The plugins can be very powerful, but when it comes to passing data back, there's just huge limitations, which is what ZeroCodes run into there. And when Bubble does their native integrations, they just have access to things that you absolutely can't do with the plugin. So,
Well, it's funny though, because it's the whole purpose of the plugin. And why is it so hard?
We've all been yelling at them for a long time, so now we just plead.
No.
Constant pain of trying to deal with plugins.
So, Plugins are fantastic. Like there's some areas where they just work flawlessly, but passing data back and forth just gets really complicated. So, hey guys, I've got a bump. I've got a 2:00 meeting EST. So we'll see y'all later.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Eli.
Take care.
Cheers.
See you later.
Karen, I'm fine to continue this up like later if other people have stuff they want to talk about.
Sure. I mean, if anybody has any other questions.
We've got
Otherwise-
one.
No, I would want to be there to learn the native integration.
Oh, you want to be part of
Algolia.
that?
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking in that for Fleet to retrieve the complex searches and the
got it.
HTML searches that fills the maps. So maybe this can be a good idea.
That's true. Yeah, we can work on that
If you'd like
Yeah.
to look at the
Sunday
native
session,
integration.
Tanya.
for sure.
Sorry?
Yeah, do you want me to go over the native integration real quick and just show you how we'd set it up and how it would work?
For me, it's fine, but more maybe other people have other questions. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just check. I think Callum put one in there. Wanted
Oh,
to
sure.
go-
Yeah, not a problem. I'm just over here seeing if I can make sense of this.
I'm still getting random people trying to sign in.
Where did you post it?
Twitter.
Twitter.
Oh, you
Like-
post. Well, that's entirely your fault then.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, apparently, I have no idea that many people follow.
You basically went to the world. Here's something to ruin. Do your work. That's what Twitter is.
Really is.
What? No, because I have posted that link on Facebook hundreds of times and nobody's ever taken me up on it except you. Callum.
But it's the 200th episode, though. They knew it was special.
We did get that crazy person on the first time we joined, didn't we?
Who's that?
The one who loves her guns and stuff.
Oh, you're talking about Jay. Jay is not Jay.
I'm kidding. We all miss Jay.
Yeah, I just talked to her the other day. She's getting stuff together.
How's the
But
housework going on?
do you want to continue, Callum? I'll leave it up to you since you posted in there that you wanted to cover a new plugin.
Yeah, no. To be honest, it was just a plug-in to work out whether the users are online or not, and
Okay.
I was
Oh,
hoping
yeah,
to
let's-
cover it because you guys have agency accounts, and I want to pay for it until I know it works.
Got it.
That's
So
fair,
yeah, let's
yeah.
continue with the Algolia then.
Still trying to figure this out. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm understanding is that we have the manual fields that we're able to search. So we'll be searching for both the name text and the unique ID. And then, of course, if we have anything else that we're adding, that would be, profile picture, their LinkedIn link, so on and so forth. So this is different from the simple search. This is the actual search. So it's able to query just that much more. And I think one of the limitations we might have been running into is just because it is a simple search. And so it does one or the other and not both. Which I'm thinking that's the case, but I could be wrong. But even then though, so I want to go over here and I want to look at the actual search, and what I'm seeing is that we set the plugin data type. So we're looking for the Algolia search A. And when we click on that, that's simple search. And I wonder, because we are looking at different things from their documentation to this. This no longer has the columns. This does have the columns. And I would have read something earlier where I think they said they were getting rid of columns. So not the end of the world. But with that, we should be able to then search. So from search A, fields list 1. Let's see this reference. It's not going to be there. It is going to be in the plugin states. So found field list, number, object for each separate field, the result, name, first name, language. So that is ugly. I'm going to be honest. Looking at that body content.
I was so frustrated yesterday. I was working in Ben's app and just trying to format JSON, like with combining it with dynamic content. And I was just like, it kept changing. And I was like, oh my God, stop.
Yeah, totally. It can get so frustrating. So we have this list. We're searching for the field list 1, and inside the field list 1, it would be the name underscore text. Let's just make sure name underscore text is here as well. Name underscore text. So we're looking for the same things. We're going to remove this and just try to simplify it as much as possible. And of course, it's not showing. List of text is empty. It's not showing that.
You have to assign that plugin with the attribute to the repeating group.
Say that again.
Do you have to? I didn't see you do it. Sorry, but the plugin, the Algolia search. Do you have to assign that to the repeating group just using an ID attribute? Is that how you assign it to that?
That's right. Yeah. And so for this ID, or it's for the search actually, truly.
Yeah.
It takes the search. So input B here. Then it says, where are we searching in the search filter and put ID. And so we just put the, this is how it says to do it with the pound sign or the hashtag there.
That's weird. I've never seen it with a hashtag like that.
Yeah. Search filter bubble input. It's
weird.
You know what? What if though?
What if?
That's what, maybe, fingers crossed. No, okay. So we'll put that back there. Proximity 1 through 7 filters. So we're just looking for, oh, well, the data type might probably honestly be pretty important. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. Okay. Oof. All right. No one saw that. It's cool. We'll edit that out. Let's hope it works.
No, we won't edit it out because that's this whole thing. That's people like.
So cool. No worries. It's still looking like it doesn't want to actually find it. We have set up the information to where it's looking for that search, and then it's also looking for the data type, the result. What I also want to do, just to maybe there's some confliction here with the simple and the not so simple search. I would be hopeful. So we have 4 fields, at least in the most recent one. And we also have the name text as the manual field. So it should be able to search.
It's finding results. It's just not showing anything because it's showing that the scroll bar.
That is interesting. Yeah, it is showing, but no results. That's weird though, because it's also, this isn't a conditional. This should just show up on every single cell. And this is. Very, I don't trust this, but let's see. Let's go back here. So this is not doing what we want it to do. However, it is showing that the manual fields, that's what we want. And so this should have a remarkably similar structure. We have object ID, name text access, unique ID. It's not the exact same. I wonder if that matters. Okay. Let me go ahead and take a quick detour here and show you. So this is for the professional setting, what I had done. And yeah, I'm really bad at naming things. This would just be test privacy, really. So if the user is logged in and they're searching, they'll only be able to see the name or the order number. And previously, what we were able to do is if everything was selected, you could type in the time even, and it would show at what time it was created, it would show that record. So I created this really simply just to make sure that we could get past that. We're gonna actually just do all fields. We're gonna reindex this. And the reason we're gonna reindex it is so our database in both Bubble and in Algolia is the same. And this is on the professional setting, but I'm just doing that so we have all of the same information like it requests here. So now we have the same stuff and it's telling us to put the information either in the columns or in the manual fields. Let's see, and that would be by clicking on this thing here. Now that's just the strangest thing though, because they're able to actually enter in all of that fun stuff. We're not. There's one interesting thing that I did note is that here, the name Bubble automatically names the items in this database here. So for some reason, it doesn't name underscore text instead of just taking over the name. And so this is just recently what we had done by clicking that button. It deleted everything and then basically just ported everything that was there over, and it rewrote these names for us. So these names are slightly different. That shouldn't be an issue though, because we weren't running into that issue previously. So if we do that, or since we didn't change, we're able to type in 417 when these three items were created. So we're able to type in different information and get different things. But over here on the actual plugin, okay.
And those two repeating groups set up exactly the same, aren't they?
Yeah, they're set up the exact same. This is searching for, well, they're similar, definitely. This is searching for items, and this is searching for a field. I wonder
so the first one type of content is text item, and the second one's text. Would that make a difference?
I think it has to be text, because if we search for an item, it gives us the professional setting to search, but it doesn't give us the actual plugin item. Whereas if we do this, then we're actually able to scroll down and see it. So this is searching for search A.
Which is the one on the left, is it?
It's this guy right here, the visual element. Search A. I just don't know why it's giving us the options of fields a list instead of here's all of the items that meet this query. But we're all reading the same information here. You know, we're all looking here. This is if you update an object. We just want to display an object. So honestly, what we're doing, I mean, in a perfect world, it would make sense. Data type is the ugly result. Look at these fields. What I don't like are these name differences. So we do know that name text is there. We'll just make sure that this is the same all the way across the board. Where is it? It's right here. Okay. I don't like how list of texts is empty. It's not showing us anything that we are searching for.
Cameron, I reckon, and I've had this problem a number of times, and Tanya has kind of fixed it by just doing a new page. But like,
You think
I reckon
so?
there's something on that page that is messing the whole thing up, and just like starting over and doing a new page and just doing it once would.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like or
Yeah.
even in the same one, delete the yeah. 1 week ago, I have an issue with a toggle button that
we've had that problem a couple of
it
times.
stopped working.
It just
not
messes
good.
you up, like too many elements on a page that are kind of interacting badly with each other.
Yeah.
Here it is. Okay. I wonder if that was it. In fact, we can remove the adding as well. We don't really need any of that. So we have just the search plugin. We're just taking input B. Okay, so we have 5 here. That's input B, and then what it does is the type of content that it's going to be putting down should be the search result of this, the data source. How interesting. Okay. What I want to do, what would we type in? What would be the question that so our API is fine, our keys and everything that's set up, we don't need to worry about that. So administration, add records to your table. The records have been set. Although what I want to do here, these records, is I want to edit them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to edit so like name text, if I remove this.
Oh no, code.
Yeah.
Are you saying you were falsely advertised to? Build your MVP in less than 2 weeks for less than $1,000.
Oof.
Thanks. So we're not able to change those names. So underscore name tag. So it did change this. That's see if that helps us out with anything.
Am I right that could you do this without the plugin, just using the API connector and like?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do with the post and get calls. Yeah, or with those methods. Now, what I can promise you though, is that in private office hours, we'd be able to knock this out for sure. And I know that it's definitely possible. It's a matter of me wanting to be able to just do a little bit more deep research into it and just to figure it out, like how does this work with that and so on. It seems like we're doing everything that this document is saying, as far as I'm able to, as far as I'm concerned, but I don't know, because I'm going over it, sort of fast, but we did get it with at least in the very beginning. Where is it? If you get in the very beginning where it worked versus with the simple search. So if we go back to simple search, see if we're able to just do this briefly. Unless anybody has any other questions, because
No, we're good.
okay, so we're sticking this one out. Okay.
We're here to the end now.
We are all of us invested.
Yeah, as you say, I feel like we're there. Yeah, yeah.
I've got 7 tabs of tutorials open on the other screen at the moment going through this.
Beautiful. Yeah, let me know if you find anything for sure.
Yeah.
But Kelly, to answer your question, with the exception of Bubble's own plugins, for the most part, I've sort of abandoned plugins trying to make APIs easier and just go to the API myself.
Tanya,
Also,
quickly becoming the API queen.
I'm working on it.
That's what I'm here for. I think it might have been Ben mentioned Pathfix. Was that you, Ben?
Pathfix is awesome from what I understand. I've never actually used them, but I have heard nothing but good things.
Tanya, we should get Ron on a Sunday session from Pathfix to go through what it does.
That would be great.
What does Pathfix
When
do?
will be?
Yeah, Ben, something about making APIs simpler.
Yeah, so Pathfix does what you did on Office Hours episode 110, Cameron. They do a bunch of OAuth.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's also another thing that I know Kelly had asked about was the LinkedIn OAuth.
Yeah.
Which I'd love to go over with you as well. Super, super fun. OAuth 2.0 handshakes, super fun. We love them.
Yeah.
Cameron loves
I've just
them.
been having a blast the past 2 days.
We tolerate them when we have to because clients make us.
Yeah. Once you get them though, like once you handle it, enough times, like I'd say probably like 2 or 3 times, it all really starts to become pretty similar, and becomes really, really easy.
I don't believe you, Cameron.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do either.
Don't worry, we'll take the time.
I think this is false advertising.
No, it's not. That's why Cameron's here.
I promise you. So if the type of content is the result, I wish we were given an option that wasn't repeating group result. Just don't feel like this is going to be what we want at all. But what if though? Make this slightly bigger. This is what we ran into last time, wasn't it? Where it just spends nonstop. Because the data source is more likely incorrect. And that's depreciated, but ultimately shows us the same thing that we've been running into. Curses. And I guess we could do like a weird conditional. I wonder, like if the text contains this, then it displays some other information related to it by that text, but that seems really convoluted, unnecessary.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, like a weird duct tape band-aid. Like it works, but it doesn't feel right.
But did we do anything with have we done anything with the Bubble native integration yet?
I apologize. No, the only thing that I had done was reset the data. So
Okay.
If you'd like me to take a step away from this for the moment and show you, I'd love to. We can do that.
Let's just start a new page and let's just go over what it would be like if the client was upgraded to professional.
Okay, totally. Yeah. Well, here we are. What we're going to do is we're going to start with an input because we definitely want to be able to search for something. And then we'll be able to take the repeating group wherever you are hiding. And the type of content that we're going to be searching for, it is going to be an item. So we're searching for an item, and this is where it gets easy. So the data source that we're searching is going to be right here. Just it's an additional data source that's added. So it's under these data source options. What we'll do is we'll say that the query that we're searching for is going to be input search me. It's value, so that's what we're querying. And this is where the privacy
so
rules,
much easier. Jesus.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh sure, for sure.
And this is where it gets interesting with the privacy rules and why the privacy rules were set up in a way that let us search for only two things. So just the name, and then I believe what it was, the like the order number or whatever it was. And the reason being is because we're given very just individual choices here. So we can either search for the name text, we can search for the slug, or we can search for any field. And if we search for any field, this is why, like when I type in 4:17 a.m., it shows up 3 different items, even though we're not really trying to search for that particular thing. So in order to prevent that, we would want to go to our privacy tab, where we would then define a new rule. So we'll just call it privacy. So when the current user is logged in, then we would turn everything else off, at least for the time being. So just only users that are logged in can search. We want to deselect view all fields, and we want to select what we want them to be able to search by. So in this case, just the text would be, well, for you, it would be just the text and let's say their business. So if you type in that company name, or if you type in their name, it would show up. And this is what we're going to want to do with the privacy rules. And you'll be able to mess around depending on, of course, what you want to be able to search for. But just for the time being, we'll actually just keep it with just the name. And so,
if you,
oh yeah.
Sorry, if you check order, you will be able to check, it will enable the order field there in the repeating group.
Yeah, so if we wanted to search for order, the thing
no,
is...
but in the repeating group will allow you to select order?
Yes.
To check it? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so I'll show you here, because right now we just have a blank repeating group. But if we add some text inside it, we'll do one here and then one here. We'll put some dynamic data in. And so it says current names item, and then we're given
okay.
all of these options.
Okay.
And so,
but before that, in the repeating group, you have like field to search or something like that. Can you go to the repeating group? 1 second, please.
Yeah, definitely.
Algolia search. Yeah, can you click on that in the data source? There. Instead of any field, can you click there? Okay.
So it looks like we're just given any field now, and I think that's maybe because of the privacy settings.
Okay. Okay.
Let's view all fields and no.
Because you are searching items, not user. Oh no, I know, but yeah, they are items, not users. Sorry.
Oh, weird. Yeah, right. We had just seen it where we could select the. And now we're only given those two. What in the heck? I'm going to do this again though, just so we can show that we're searching for the text and the order. I did include the unique ID as one of the fields, and it looks like that's not given to us as an option, so it still should show up. But what I will do instead of that, we'll do creation date. So it shows you that creation date won't show up. Every item has a creation date, but that privacy rule sort of says nope. So we'll see how this actually displays. I have no conditional set right now, so everything's just popping up. But if we do 1, awesome, 2, so on and so forth. So that does work pretty easily. What we will do is I will also search for, let's say 4:17 a.m. and it is still showing 3 items. And why is it showing 3 items?
But maybe can you check the database if they have really dates like for at 17 a.m. because
Okay.
maybe it can be a really big search, so it is pulling for.
Well, I don't know why it does it, but I had seen something at 4:17 p.m. earlier this morning, and that's honestly probably because I was. Well, actually, no. Oh, why would that have worked? I did see that this morning. Let's do something else. So let's just type in AM, and it doesn't look like it reduces any of our. Let's go back into our privacy settings. Tanya, can you see anything weird with these privacy settings?
No.
Or maybe it's too big, the flexible of the search. So even for AM, it is returning results.
Yeah, you need to make it like 0.2 or whatever it is. Is that what you mean, Juan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like similar to the process search, the plugin that
Yeah,
you can adjust the. You can expose. You can. You know what? Can you inspect this repeating group? Because there you can check if it is retrieved the dates. But
yeah. Oh, you're saying yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you see the creation date is not exposed?
So it is hidden.
And maybe in the network tab, if you go to the to check if it is retrieving.
You know, I'm not seeing anything that's popping out to me.
Can you click on fetch HR? Okay, this works. Value.
So we are getting.
Oh, there, yeah.
Oh, I know. I probably know exactly why this is happening. And that is because we need to re-trigger this index. We need to refresh
Okay.
it. Those privacy rules will be updated inside here now. So it's like, yeah, wait a second. That's the data. There we go. So,
yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool.
That's great. That's amazing because yeah, you don't need to be so stressed to handle all of that on your side. I would prefer to pay a little bit more to have more capacity in the app, in the professional plan, and also do this kind of stuff easier. It will cost you a lot of time extra every month if you are like constantly developing in your app. And if you hire someone to do it, it will be even more expensive.
What was that, Ben?
There's a little trick with this as well. So when you search using Algolia, every time it shows results, it's a charge. So if you type in A and then it shows some results and then A, B, and then keep typing it keeps charging it.
Yeah, I saw that it is for each keystroke.
Yeah, but if you have a button next to search me that says search, and it only performs that search on that, so you have to type in what you want to search for and then hit search, it's going to cut it down by about 100.
Yeah.
When you say charge, you're talking about like there's a limit on Algolia. Is that what you're saying? There's a limit for those
super
calls.
Expensive. We had a look at that the other day, didn't we, Tanya? I think a couple of sessions ago.
Yeah,
it's
not
$1 per 10,000 records.
Yeah,
but
10,000
searches, but each keystroke is a search.
Yeah.
If you don't limit it to the pressing a button or enter, right? So that's what Ben is talking about, is you can prevent overcharging, searching for every keystroke by just making sure that there's a button there and it's tied, the search is tied to the button as opposed to the input.
Here's how we add the titles. Okay, that's what I was searching for earlier.
But
otherwise, it's $1 per 1,000, not 10,000. So you know that can get
per 1,000. Oh, Yeah,
It's 1,000, not
maybe
10,000.
maybe you can do it without having like the default data source like this, and when you click the button, the flow can be display list on a repeating group.
Yeah.
I'm not
Does
sure.
it have to be something within the search box, or if it's just blank and it should say you have 1,000 records and it was blank and it showed all 1,000 records, would that still charge you $1, or does it only do it if there's something in the search box?
Also, I'm not sure if it can work if it has a condition in the repeating group and it is not visible, so it is not asking or fetching data from Algolia. I'm not sure if this can work like this too. If it is,
But just to clarify, Juan, it's every 1,000. Sometimes you're off by.
yes, by a zero.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know. It always happened to me,
1,000, not
like 300
100.
with 3,000.
Yeah.
1,000 with 10. Oh, sorry.
The way that I would,
No worries. I just wanted to make sure you understood it's like 1,000, not 100. But then it's if you're looking for that fuzzy search feel where they're typing in and you're showing results as they're typing, then that's an expense that you'd have to eat, right? Because that's the idea, is that Algolia will work for that, but it'll cost you. Because each keystroke will be another search.
and then the way to prevent that, so it's queued instead of just automatically searching, just adding a dynamic or adding a record for search. I guess you create a new record in the database or new object search, and then you store that search there. So when you click go, it looks at the user's most recent search and then applies that.
You couldn't do that with a custom state?
You probably could do it with the customers. I would do it slightly different. So that's something you have to think about as well. Definitely. The way that I would approach it is I would have my item, or I would have a new type here. So it would just be searches. And then inside searches, we're going to have the actual search, which is going to be the text. And then the user that's created by. And so when we click this button, what it's going to do is it's going to make a new thing. It's going to be a search, and it's going to take this value, and it's going to take this user, their email, current user's email.
It will be only current user, because you may make it type user.
Oh, yes, current user.
Why wouldn't you just use the built-in created by invisible field?
You totally could. You know, honestly, there's definitely better practices than what I do. I'm just set in my way of doing that. But for sure, no, you're totally right. I've gone back on apps in the past and been like, wait, why didn't I do it this way instead? And I've taken the very long route. So there's absolutely better ways.
But I prefer to always have a user field inside each data type object, because it gives you more flexibility when you need, for example, to migrate data from another app or to your app, or you need to restructure your database. For example, you need to use another data type object and you want to preserve the user who created that row, or it gives you a lot of more flexibility, because you cannot update the user field created by, or the creation date, or things like that. So I always prefer to have it also there.
I'm nodding my head vigorously. I consider that a best practice.
Yeah.
I always thought I was sort of bloating
Keep doing
my
it,
data.
Cameron.
It's worth it in the end, because it's better for testing. Because then you don't have to start from scratch with everything, right? And it's better for data manipulation later if you need to update and change something CRUD wise, and then also in the app. And then it's if you ever have like an admin portal that's doing something on behalf of another user, it makes that possible. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
Well, again, just in the background, what I've done is I've added that as or for the button now, so it cues it instead. So if we type in 3, nothing happens, but the moment we press go is when it then shows up. Probably not the biggest thing ever, but definitely something to safeguard. You know how often you're getting charged.
That was
But
one.
sorry,
That's one
I am
search
not.
instead of 5. Like that's a big difference for me. Like
Huge.
when you're talking about 500 users all on, constantly searching, that's going to rack up real quick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I am thinking in something why you are creating a row to do the search. Sorry.
What's that?
Why you are creating a row in the items? When you click the go button, you create a new row.
Yeah, so I'm creating the new
To
search in this case.
to store I don't know, the searches of users.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so we're storing the search, so then it references that search instead of being a dynamic and just looking at every keystroke. But if there's a better way, I'd love to know. But this is how I would do it.
Okay. I was thinking something like compare. In Algolia we can check the number of searches that we have.
Yeah,
searches.
you're able to look at the count of the searches.
Okay, can we do an experiment? Can you disable your button go? Disable this workflow, and instead of that, I will want to do but keep the button. Keep
you
the
want
button,
to? You just want to
second.
disable it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I will want to check 2 scenarios. Sorry, I'm very curious because I love this feature, and I will want to learn more about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So copy this, the data source expression of the repeating group. Copy it and leave it blank, please. And now in the conditional, type when this input value, when input search me value is not empty, and the data source will be this one. So only if you the user finished typing, it retrieves the search, and maybe it don't charge you for each keystroke. This can be one. The other can be like, sorry.
As soon as you type one letter, that input's value is not empty.
Yeah,
right.
That's the only issue.
Yeah, but sometimes it's a lag between. Like
Might be able to.
Sometimes we need to, or the other way.
I was
when you
thinking
click go,
instant
display list.
Juan, I was trying to speak. The other way I was thinking is you could probably do something with custom states and instant text.
Yeah. Okay, and the other one is if you click on go. Okay, remove this condition, please. Start edit workflow. Display list. And display the list there. So this should work.
Do we want to go ahead and keep the create a new search, or do we want to
maybe cut it for now, just to.
Okay, and so we're going to keep the data source blank. Okay, let's see what happens here. That definitely is another option. Definitely, it reduces the amount of information we're going to need to store. Even if it's just text, it will probably help out.
Yeah.
This is definitely an option. Yeah.
Would be interesting to know, like, at a scale with a lot of users, if it really makes a difference. Otherwise, I think it depends on whether you want to store the user searches or not, right? It can be super useful to know what your users are searching.
Yeah, for sure. For even more if you are in a marketplace or something.
But are those searches then also stored in Algolia? Because I'm sure they're keeping a record of what searches.
That's true. That's true. And they might already have a dashboard and everything for you to have a look.
With this, we can avoid like having hard-coded fields in Babel, like when you store like name plus company name plus a number like text, things like that.
Yeah, I have some search index fields in my apps that are like a mix of 7 or 8 fields, and they are updated
Yeah.
by database triggers and all of these things just to be able to do complex searches. Yeah.
Huh.
Seeing like metrics, like numbers, but I'm not seeing any logs.
No, there's not like the simplest one, right? Which is what are the users searching for?
So Pablo, quickly, what you were just saying is instead of like you're creating a field that's like a searchable field on the data type that populates in the back end with like name, company, anything that you might want to search. That way you're only searching the one field. You're not having to cross. Interesting.
Because the thing is, like, once you want to access like users, companies, country, something, then it gets like super ugly. So what I do is whenever something is created or changed, I just with a database trigger, I just change the original record. And it works really well because it's just a text field. So the searches are usually super fast.
Yeah. I think I may recommend something like that because like right now when they have so few users, it's kind of why do they need this level of, it's also not a complex search. It's 2 fields, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I think they just heard that this is the best way to search, but I don't know that they know much about it.
It's definitely a good way to search.
Yeah. A bit more expensive, but it's also more scalable maybe. I don't know, but the way that I use, the only thing that you need to really take care of is just updating the fields whenever there is a change. For example, in the company name, you update the user, in this case the search index field.
Right now I have it set up where it's searching 2 fields. I don't even know how I did. Basically I have an input field and then I have a repeating group, and the input field, when they hit search, like a button, which they don't want, they want a live search, right? But right now, as a placeholder, I was like, okay, they have to hit search, and it shoots it to a custom state. And then the repeating group shows up if there is anything in the custom state. Is that right? Sorry. The repeating group, the data source is, do a search for users with where the name or the company equals that custom state, right? And I ignore empty constraints or empty. Yeah. If that makes sense. So it works fine. It works the way that I want it to. But what's weird, there's this little, I don't know if it's a glitch, but basically it first quickly returns every user and then it just shows the ones you've searched for. Like I can see every user and then it'll.
But it's loading the companies in like a hidden repeating group, and then it's looking if I think the problem with that is that imagine if you have like 5 or 6 fields, like eventually they might want to add something to a search. You're gonna keep adding like repeating groups, and at some point it might
no, it's just one. It's one repeating group.
Okay, but so then maybe I'm not understanding it well. So you are not like searching for the companies and then looking for the users that are associated to those companies. You're doing it differently.
The repeating group is just users, and on the user data type, there's a field called company. It's not another data type. It's just a text field, right? At this point.
But they're searching with the company name, right? So
could be,
How is that done then?
So the repeating group, the data source is where the name contains the input or the custom state value, or the company contains the custom state value. Either one, right?
Okay.
So and it's working, like it returns what I'm looking for. It's fine.
But does it have then an advanced filter or not? No.
It's a really simple setup. It just sort of feels janky the way that it, displays.
Yeah, I think I've gotten so used to the search index that I have a hard time like thinking of a different structure. Yeah, because I used to previously, like I would use advanced filters sometimes, for these type of things. But then, yeah, those are really.
I never
close.
know what to do with those things. I avoid advanced filters. I don't even know.
Yeah, we avoid them at all costs.
I think they're amazing. You can basically do anything you want, but that has to be like not so good, you know. It slows down your app. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot.
for sure. Awesome.
What I'm doing here, just real quick, wanted to come in. So
No,
I'm still really bothered by this. So like, how do we fix this? I've opened up their editor and I'm seeing how they've set it up, and it looks like we're on the same track with what we're actually trying to accomplish here. Why though it's showing as a text and we're not able to see any other data, and why they are is because inside their text they have it set to the parent group's text, but then they have it set to where we're looking for the results field as it is, then the item number, the current cell's index. So what we're trying to figure out above all else is, first off, where my tab went, here it is. We're trying to figure out how to get that text data, or how to get rather the field data. So field number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on to actually show up. So we have field number 1 right here, just as they have over here. And I'm gonna put these next to each other. Parent group's text, which is field number 1 result. That's the data source for this repeating group, as well as this repeating group. Then we click on the element here, it's still text, and then we click on site, it's going up the ladder, parent group text. But we click on here, we're back to the results field number, and then the current cell, the index. So let's see if we can get that to work. So and then they did, so it's field number, item number, current cells index. And so this is gonna be, yeah, who would have thought, right? My goodness. Field number 2, and I'm gonna make this bigger. We have multiple fields and I have no idea which field's which.
And you're still using the native integration right now, right? Not the plugin?
No, at this point, this is the plugin. Yeah, just
is the
for,
plugin. Okay.
Yeah. It's making me go crazy over here.
Yep, he
I
won't be
appreciate
able to
it.
sleep until he gets it working.
You have no idea.
I do. No, I get it.
Totally. So we're showing the titles, which is good. It's looking like it's showing everything. Let's just go back into index. And again, so we have these things. The object ID in particular. So the object ID, we don't have an object ID. Oh, that's right. That's because that's. Well, wait a second, because inside their database, I keep confusing my tabs. They do have an object ID as well. That'll be pretty important. So really, we do want to just make this item to be as similar as what we're seeing here. So they have an object ID. They have the active boot. Oops. And this honestly probably is why we're not seeing this data. So yeah, the object active name text. Order has not been added. Does anybody remember where I was like, oh, that's what I was looking for? Because I lost it again. I think this is it. Okay.
All the time.
Yeah. We're gonna do this as order number. This ordered as well. we couldn't find the attribute order in a small sample of your records. That's true because my other records don't have that. Tanya, if I export a file to you, will you be able to send that to me? Because it's going to go to your email.
Yep, I did it for the first one already.
Oh, did you? Oh, perfect.
in
I'm going to
the-
do it one more time because I added that record.
Yeah, no worries.
You're going to items. You're going to export this all. Perfect. We are going to delete all of this.
Really have to delete them manually?
Honestly,
one.
probably not. I'm sure there's an easier way to do it.
Okay, good.
I'm practicing my flicking right now. I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
left, right, left, right.
What was it? Oh, I had something that I had to do that with yesterday and I gave up in the middle. I was like, oh.
4 more records. We got this. And so this is probably how you're gonna start off. If you decide to, of course, continue the plugin route where we're gonna go ahead and upload the file. And which email did you send that to?
I just sent you, I put it in the chat here.
Oh, beautiful.
That way you don't have to go to email.
Where's my, it's right here. Okay. The object ID attribute is required to use action equals update object. But they told me add object ID. So do I go back to their database? Where's their database? It's here. Object ID is a text. Just want to double check that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we like these challenges. They're fun.
Oh, I remember one night back in, what was it, April or May, Cameron?
Oh God. I don't want to relive those memories.
You don't want to relive that one?
Oh my, it keeps me up. Sometimes I swear on my life I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about that. It's so tough to fall asleep. Oh man, okay, so we're not gonna add that. We're gonna remove that and then we're gonna add it back, but we're gonna export this one more time. So I think that's why we're getting this. We'll just add it after. Oops, not that one.
Guys, I need to jump. It's
Go to
super late
sleep.
here in Spain. No, I'm going
sorry.
out.
Oh, you're going
Friday.
out. Go have fun.
Enjoy your weekend, absolutely. Definitely.
Bye.
Enjoy your weekend, guys. See you soon.
Bye, Pablo.
Take care.
Bye. Thanks, Pablo.
I feel like we're really close. To getting this going.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Always.
Always.
It's like the I'll be right back in a horror movie. I feel like we're really
Oh, yeah, you never say that. If you're with a
All
guy
right.
that says that.
I sent you a new one.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, cool. Let's see. Just title it that. If this doesn't work, I don't know.
Until you think of something new 2 seconds later.
Okay, cool. So it does add the object ID. Now we're going to go back in here and we're going to add the object ID.
We stopped seeing your screen, I think. Or maybe it's just on my side.
No, me too.
I still see your files.
Oh, it says that it's paused. How do I resume share? Yeah. I'm clicking the button and nothing is happening.
Maybe stop sharing and reshare.
Yeah.
Is that better now?
Yeah, now we can see.
Okay, perfect. What did they call that? They called it the object ID.
I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. So now we have those files. We have our database set up the way that we want it to. So we type in 3 and it does pop up the 3. It is not showing us So what's interesting is that we're actually able to see inside the fields what is showing. So we do have a confirmed field 1 equals 3. And I assume we have 3 number 3s, and that's why. So we do have 3 3s, and that's why we're seeing 3 3s. Let's go back to these guys over here. That's 3. Actually, while we're here, we're going to click on this plugin. So the description in theory is number 2, icons number 3. That's what it looks like here, is that this is number 3. This is number 2. So let's go ahead and make sure that inside our application, we want to show the field item. Number 1 would be the title. I discovered why we are not saying anything. Let's do modified date. And there we go. These are all different times. Perfect. We did it. Oh my goodness. It took forever, but we did it.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
So we discovered what we need to do. The way that this is going to work in a step, yeah, only 2 hours later.
It's fine.
We got it though. You know, that's what's important here. It took a
We're
while.
celebrating the win.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, step by step, we are going to start with an empty index here. We are going to, what we'd want to do, we don't always have to, but I would recommend exporting the current data that you have as a CSV file and then uploading it in here. Now, you probably won't need to run into this, but like we just discovered, do not have object ID as an added export field. You're going to want to add that after you export everything.
Oh my God.
Right.
Come on, guys.
After that, fortunately, it is very simple, where we're going to have a repeating group. And a repeating group is, well, before that, we have the simple search. The simple search has the index name that we find here. It's very tough to copy and paste it. So I right click, I inspect the element, and I just go to the HTML. I copy it, and then, I mean, you could probably do other ways. That's the way that I do it. Paste it in there. Cool. Query is going to be the search bar. Type of content, as it wants us. The Algolia results. Cool. And then here, fields to retrieve. So for you, we're going to have the name. We're going to have the business or the company. If I can't type it, we're going to have the picture, and we're probably going to have a couple other things like the link included as well. So as it is in this array, this is going to be 1. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we'll be searching for 5
The order
things.
that I typed them.
That is correct. Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
And then that is all you're going to have to do for this guy. So then you go over to the repeating group, and what we're looking for, and I wish I could elaborate on this further. Don't know why it's set up like this, but we are going to be searching for Algolia's simple search result, field 1. So this is what we're searching for, field 1. And I think the field 1 or field 2 is going to be the data that you're searching for as a primary. So we're searching purely for the name right now. So if we type in the name, that record of that name is going to come back. And then it'll occupy whichever cell. So if there's multiple John Smiths, it's going to be John Smith 1, John Smith 2. Whereas if we were to type in, let's see, like field 2, let's say that's the company name, and then we still were to type in the name, it should show up, but it's not searching for the name. It's searching for the business name, if that makes any sense. It's not searching for the user's name. It's searching for the business name. And if that business name is the same as our query, then it'll pop up here with that individual's information. That is to my understanding. And we can quickly test that out, but that's what I'm getting.
Are you saying, like, so if the search field, she wants them to be able to search for either the company or the name, the person's name. So
yeah, sure. So let's see here. And I think it's just in terms of priority. I don't believe that, let's say we're going to type January 3rd, or rather we're going to type 9:17 p.m. So 9:17 p.m. We're going to click search, and it comes up with the ones that are at 9:17 p.m. We're also going to search for 1.
Okay, so
It's going to come up. Yeah, so it does absolutely let you double search. I think just in like terms of priority, for behind the scenes. Again, not super certain on that, but to me, intuitively, it would make sense if that was the way it was set up. But it's super fast regardless. I just don't know if it makes any sense, but whatever. Okay, cool. Last thing that was driving us insane is we are searching for this simple search. We're searching for those results in that field as the same as our parent. So field 1 or field 2, field 3, field 4. But the only thing that we're doing to differentiate and to make sure that we're picking the right cell is we're doing item number, current cells index.
Okay, what about how you sort the cells?
Yes.
That would be on the repeating group, right?
I mean, yes, normally, but I actually read some stuff on the bubble or on the plugin documentation that says that you don't want to sort through the repeating group. You're actually going to want to sort it through this backend here. And how to do that, I believe, would be the ranking system, which would be configure custom ranking. So this is how you'd sort it, I believe. So we have the ranking attribute and the sort by attribute.
So if you add a new user, it's going to automatically sort it or rank it or whatever.
To my understanding, yeah. But I don't want to provide anything that I'm not super confident about. So don't take my word for it. Just
taking
probably.
Your word, taking it.
Oh,
taking
no. Perfect. But I mean, that is from the beginning to the end how you would set up the search feature.
Okay.
The only additional thing. Oh, what's up?
Well, I was going to say in their example, they had grouped all of their stuff and the group was the text, right? It wasn't the like Algolia, blah, blah, blah. It was just the parent group text. It's the actual display elements that have the Algolia data source.
That's correct. Everything else is text though.
Got it.
So where were we here? Cool. Yeah. So we did it. The only other thing that I would recommend is putting that, let's say, when this value is empty, this value is invisible, or rather not empty.
Yeah, because we have an alternative thing that needs to show up. If the search is empty, it needs to be like, oh, you didn't find what you're searching for. Other option, blah, blah. So I do need a conditional on that or whatever. Yeah. Wow. Oh my God.
Yay.
I'm set. Thank you. God.
Welcome to office hours, Kelly.
Jesus.
It's a little blood, sweat, and tears. Nothing we're not used to.
I feel like I just ran a marathon or something. That was intense. And much appreciated.
It's always really nice when you get to a point where you're like, oh my goodness, I actually did it. You know?
Yeah.
It just feels so good. There is a solution. Oh my goodness, I'm not going crazy.
You are not.
Whew. So this recording will be uploaded somewhere.
I will give you. I'll put the recording in, and I'll leave all of the bad stuff in.
Oh, please do.
I'll send it to you. Please don't share it, and then I'll edit it, and then it will go out elsewhere.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to screenshot the bad stuff. That's going to be my new profile picture.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
Wow.
Awesome.
Perfect. And I know probably closing up office hours, but you did have a question about the LinkedIn Oauth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are actually, I think, supposed to be
scheduled like
right
now.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
So if you want to, Cameron, if you want to send Kelly a link, she might need a break to go to the restroom. If you want to send her a link to your Zoom,
perfect,
your NoCoders Zoom, in Slack. Awesome. She should be in Slack. So you should.
I believe, I'm on my old account, so I'll have to sign out of this guy. So I'm going to leave the video call, but cool. I'll go ahead and send you that invite, and we'll tackle the LinkedIn problem together.
I need 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Take your time. No worries.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, guys. Wow.
Yes. Okay.
Take care.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. We're going to wrap up the 200th episode of Office Hours. We will be back for episode 201 on Monday at 10 a.m.